that all men have inalienable rights to think freely, to talk freely, to write freely their own opinions, and to counter or utter or write upon the opinions of others.
This is from the Creed of the Church of Scientology. Hey everybody, I'm Holly, aka the ScientoloGeek, and welcome to the 40th episode of Going Over the Data Series. Today we're going to look at a little addition from Data Series 31 about final targets, and we will also be looking at a new policy letter related to problems with targets. If you guys want access to the data series, to the policies, the tech, any of the volumes, or any of the miscellaneous materials that I have in my Google Drive folder, feel free to email me at scientologeek@gmail.com. That'll be in the description, along with the link to my Discord server. So if you guys want to hop in, chat, say hi, do whatever, or if you guys want to hit me up for that resource, go to my DMs and just send me a valid Gmail address. Obviously, I'm sending these through email only, and it seems that Gmail is the only one that really works when it comes to Google permissions. So, without any further ado, let's get started. So here we have the HCO policy letter of the 25th of November, 1973. This is issue 1 edition. This is final target attachment.
To save the evaluator writing the final target's longhand, this sheet is provided. It can be filled in with the proper numbers and data, inapplicable lines crossed out, and this sheet stapled to the end of any eval.
So again, this is just the same stuff we saw in Data Series 31. I'm not going to be going over it, so let's just move on to the next policy. This is the HCO policy letter of the 14th of December, 1973, called Target Troubles.
Targets junior to policy. A target given on an evaluation may not set aside management policy or technical releases.
Hence, can't change Hubbard, can't override Hubbard.
Where such a target is written or misused to supplant policy, a great deal of trouble can follow. Example: org policy in authorized issues states that accounts for the week must be finalized at 2 p.m. Thursday. Someone writes an evaluation and puts a target in it to end the week on Sunday. People doing the target actions change to Sunday. This is out of phase with all other actions, and chaos results. People tend to take orders from anyone and anything in a poorly organized area. When they use evaluation or project targets instead of policy, the whole structure may begin to cave in. No eval target is senior to official issues, and where these conflict, the target has the junior position. The only way a target can change policy is to propose that such and such a policy be officially reviewed on proper channels, or that a new policy be written and passed upon properly by those in actual authority. Someone attempting to do a target who finds that it conflicts with policy or official technical releases and yet goes on and does the target is of course actionable. Targets out of context. Context: the interrelated conditions in which something exists or occurs. Out of context: something written or done without relation to the principal meaning of a work. Targets must be written within the meaning of the whole evaluation. Example: the evaluation is about pie. There's a target that says to polish shoes just because the evaluator happened to think of it and squeezed it into the program. A program written to increase pies winds up with the ideal scene of polished shoes. No pies get increased, so the evaluation fails. Target must be done within the context of the evaluation. Example: an evaluation is done to increase central office collections. It calls for another evaluation to be done on a statistic. The person doing that target reduces the number of items collected upon and crashes central office collections. The person did not read or understand the whole evaluation before he did the target, and so did it in a way that accidentally defeats the ideal scene. Example: an evaluation is done to fill up a big hotel of 450 guest capacity. One of its targets calls for project orders sending a team to the hotel. The person who writes the project orders does not look at the evaluation or the hotel plans and specifies 30 guests must be gotten. The evaluation is defeated. Falsely evaluating. A person who evaluates a situation without chasing up all the data or even looking at the data in his files can bring about a false evaluation. Example: a person has come back into an organization at a high level. The place crashes. The evaluator does not examine personnel changes at the time of the crash and comes up with too many football games as his why, and the evaluation fails. False dones. False reports that a target's been done when it has not been touched or has been half done at best is actionable in that he is defeating not only the evaluation, but the organization. Example: the evaluator has an ideal scene of repaired machines that will increase production. The mechanic reports all machines repaired now when he has not even touched them. The evaluator sees production remains low, looks around for a new Y, but his Y is falsely reported dones on his accurate eval. Personal contact. Targets seldom get done without personal contact. Evaluations should carry the name or post of the person who is overall responsible for the completion of a program. Sitting at a desk while one's trying to get people to targets has yet to accomplish very much. One can have messengers or communicators or flag reps getting the targets done, but these in turn must depend upon personal contact. A person assigned responsibility for getting a whole program done is not likely to accomplish much without personal contact being made. This can be done on a VIA.
We learned about VIAs if you watch my my video, one of the interviews I did, I think it was the second one I did with Chris Shelton regarding auditing and coercive control. Obviously, that VIA was related to OTTR0.
Mr. A in location A, remote from Mr. C in location C, can get a target done reliably only if he has a Mr. B in that area, whose sole duty it is to personally contact Mr. C and have Mr. C get on with it despite all reasons why not. That is how targets get done. That is also how they can be reviewed.
If you have issues, say Mr. A has issues getting stuff done with Mr. C. Mr. C might not be doing those things. You don't always need someone over your shoulder hounding you to get it done. If you have a proper organization, people should be able to do their jobs and not get hounded by a middleman. I think it's kind of stupid to have a middleman. It's something called email. If you don't read your emails, you don't do your stuff, you get fired. It's not that hard. You don't need a middleman.
Target troubles are many unless the program is under direct contact supervision. Even then, targets get bugged or stalled. But the evaluator can find out why if personal contact is made and the target can be pushed through. Success. Therefore, the success of an evaluation in attaining an ideal scene depends in no small measure on 1. Both evaluator and target executor realizing policy and technical materials are senior to targets and programs, and that targets do not set senior policy aside. One of the best ways to prevent this is to know and refer to policy and technical issues in targets. 2. Targets must be written in context with the evaluation and done in context with the ideal scene. The best way to achieve this in writing an eval's targets is to make them consistent with the why and ideal scene. The best way to be sure that targets will be done in context is to require that anyone doing a target must first read the whole evaluation and be word cleared on it before he does his target, so that he does his target in a way to improve the existing scene in the eval, not some other scene. 3. To prevent false evaluation, one may require that the evaluator attests that all pertinent data and statistics have been examined, and to discipline such failures whenever an evaluation fails. 4. To prevent false dones, one must review the evidence of dones and statistics after the program is complete and discipline all falsely reporting persons and reassign the targets or, in any way possible, get them actually done. Number 5. The way to get a whole program done, target by target, is through personal contact.
I disagree with this point.
Supervise it by personal contact with those assigned the targets, or use a communicator or a messenger. Where the people doing the targets are remote from the evaluator, one must have someone there to do the personal contact. And be sure that person isn't just sitting at a desk, but is actually doing personal contact on targets. Thus, all evaluations on the issue itself or by an organizational pattern should have someone who can personally contact people getting the targets done fully and completely.
Then what did people do during the freaking pandemic when they were working from home all the time?
If these points about evaluations and their programs are understood, one can, and only then, can move things toward the ideal scene.
So, what have we covered? We looked at the attached form of the final 4 targets from Data Series 31. It was just a way that the evaluator wouldn't have to write it out longhand, so he could just have the printed form. We learned that targets are junior to policy and must be second in command according to that regard. We've learned something pretty basic, that targets need to be written in the context of the evaluation. You can't just be writing irrelevant targets that have nothing to do with the evaluation or the ideal scene. So we've also looked at falsely evaluating when someone doesn't chase up data, or if they even look at the data, then it's going to cause a faulty evaluation. So we learned that the evaluator has to attest that all pertinent data and statistics have been examined, and that if an evaluation fails, then they need to be disciplined. The evaluator needs to be disciplined. We've learned that there are false dones, which is obviously just saying that something is done when it's not. It's the point of it is just to get them done. And we've also learned, according to Hubbard, that personal contact between an order given by somebody and the receiver of said order needs to be maintained. Again, I disagree with this. I think that someone can be given an order and be able to carry it out. I think if you need personal contact to get that order done, that person who's getting the order probably needs to be looked into. Whether they just haven't complied with it yet, that might be one thing, and they're going to do it at a certain point, or if they just don't do it, then why are they working at your company? But that's what we've looked at today. If you guys don't know, I have taken up Mark Headley's birthday game challenge, which he has not given to anybody. I have just decided to take it up for myself, which means I want to get my stats up as high as possible, subscribe account, all that stuff. So like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this with your friends, your family, show them what the data series has in it, and why Scientology is crazier than most people realize. I will talk to all of you later. See ya.